What up, what up, what up, good people? It's your boy BTG, aka Bust Them Guns, back at you with another one. So we got them amigos out again today. You know, we got some direct comparison with some slow-mo coming at you. So we're going to jump into that. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. This video is for educational purposes only. We're in a safe and controlled environment. We're not selling any firearms, nor are we selling accessories. We're not promoting the sale of any firearms, nor are we promoting the sale of any accessories. This is just a product review of my own personal equipment. All right. You're new to the channel, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. If you enjoy the content, hopefully you hit that subscribe button and come back and see us. If you're a returning viewer, you know, I appreciate the support. Appreciate you being along for the ride. And we're going to keep this journey going. So let's get into it. So we got the amigos out again. And this here, we're going to do a little slow-mo. So we've done quite a few direct comparisons, just kind of running it, going with naked eye. So this time we're going to slow it down and do a direct comparison. And I've kind of narrowed it down. I think where we are, the Mac9 and the Match X is the closest in performance, and those are the two front runners out the group. I've got an opinion of who I think is the flattest out of that group, but I'll hold that to the end. And following behind that is the Synergy and the Romulus. So we're going to run the Mac9. This is the Mac9 DS. If you're not familiar with it, if you're new to the channel, clear. Weapon is clear, safe direction. So this is my Mac9 DS. We got that bad boy upgraded with the Damascus pattern on there. Did some stainless accents and also put that red dirt trigger in there. So this bad boy is nice and it's ported. So nice work done on that. This we're going to do direct comparison with the Match X. So this is our Match X in the family. Mag is empty. Safe direction. There we go. Bam. So Match X, nice and polished up. This bad boy here is also ported. We've got the Atlas trigger in here. Internals freshened up. Mag well. So that's what we're working with there. So that's going up against the Mac9. And then the other comparison is going to be our newest addition, which this is our Great Lakes Synergy. So the GLFA, that bad boy is empty. Safe direction. Back in for aesthetics. So that's our Great Lakes Synergy. We got the gold edition there. And this bad boy here also upgraded. So we got the Atlas trigger in there. Got that MPA magwell. All of these have detailed reviews with all the upgrades on the channel. So if you want to go back, any specific questions, or you want to hit me up in the comments, you can. So this is not designed to be a detailed layout, just kind of give you the quick and dirty. So that's what we're working with there. And this is also ported. So yeah, you can see that. So that there's the Synergy. And that we're doing a direct comparison with the Romulus. Now, Alpha Foxtrot Romulus, it's looking a little different. That's all that's left of this bad boy right now. The top end is out, getting some work done. So we're finally getting the porch done on this bad boy. So it's going to come back new and improved. So this is going to be the last comparison on this in its stock form, which it really held its own with no modifications. So I can just imagine what it's going to be like once it comes back and we got the ports in there and got that comp to open up. So this bad boy is going to be nice. So we're running this against the Synergy because they're closest in layout. And this we know that the Synergy is pretty much a direct descendant of the Alpha Foxtrot. So the way we did it at the range is I ran all three or all four, just slow and steady, ran a magazine through each one, just slow and steady on target. And then from there, we're going to go into the comparison. We're going to run slow-mo initially with the Romulus and the Synergy. So initially with those stacked, let you see that comparison. We'll bounce back in, and then we'll roll to the Mac9 and the Match X. So let's jump on out to the range. Let's get it started. Check out the footage. We'll run straight through the slow and steady, that initial slow motion, and then we'll bounce back in and go from there. So we should be running. And we are live. So we got the amigos out, and we're just going to run a few rounds so that I can set up a slow-mo and see which one actually runs flatter. So this is not going to be an extended session. We've got the Mac9, so we're going to run this bad boy. Obviously, we got the newest edition. We got the Synergy, the GLFA. We've got the familiar Match X. And then rounding it off, we got the Romulus. It's pretty much in its original state. So we will start with, let's start with the Romulus. That's the OG. So let's run that one first. And I think we're gonna just pick a target for each one. So we'll go bottom left corner for this Romulus. And we should be dead on with that. That should be it. Bottom left. All right, so we're clear. And we're gonna rotate right over to this match X. And we're just gonna go to the bottom right corner. And we're gonna run that. So bottom right. So that's a clean run through. And that did lock up. Newest edition, Great Lakes. And we're gonna go top left corner. So let's run this bad boy. It should be in camera there. We're hidden. Right on. That light. Yeah. That stovepipe, was that the last one? Yeah, that was the last round. It's bounced around in there. So we'll finish on that. This bad boy gets hella. Wow. And last but not least, Mac9. In the top right corner. Should be in frame there. Shooting pretty good. Bring it up. I lock that. So we're going to use that footage and we're going to run some slow-mos. The dot on that Mac9. Need to bring that dot down. I compensated for it to get it on target, but it's actually hitting a little high. So let me bring that down. If I remember correctly, it was on the last time we were up. So is it not holding zero? It's hitting low. It's hitting Let's see if we're on here. Let's go, let's go dead center. Now high. I took it up too much. Let's try that. All right, so you've seen the initial round there. You saw the slow and steady on all of them. You can form your opinion from there. And to further aid that, you saw the slow-mo of the Romulus and the Synergy. So you can decide between those two if there's a difference, and if so, which one, where you stack them. Next up, we're going to run the slow-mo on the Mac9 and the Match X. And between these two is where it's really close. But I've got, well, I'll reserve my opinion to the end. So let's jump back out. Let's check these two out, and then we'll bounce back in. All right, so that's the last two, slow-mo. You saw those bad boys run. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think. I say the Mac9 edges out the Match X. It's shooting a little flatter. And I think that's all to do with the weight. The Match X has the aluminum frame. So that's a slight disadvantage because this bad boy, it's got the comp, it's got the ports, just as the Mac9. Mac9 has got the chunk port, which you can argue which one is more effective. The chunk port might be more effective of a design, but it's got the ports as well. But what it does have that the Match X doesn't, it's got this steel frame. And that additional weight helps keep this bad boy a little flatter, in my opinion. So, and for that reason, and just because I would prefer to have a steel frame, right now I'm searching for a Gearsign Match S, and the Match S is the one that's just the straight slide, no comp, no ports, but it has a steel frame. So if I can find that, then I'll do pretty much the same thing that Major Havoc did. He took a Match S and took that steel frame and matched it up with his Match X. And that's like the ultimate setup because you get the weight of that frame plus the comp and the ports, and that's going to flatten this bad boy out even more. Not that it's bucking, but that's just going to flatten it out even more. So that's the combination that I want. So I'm on the lookout for a nice used Match S at a decent price, and then I'll go from there. And probably we'll make it look just the same. We'll probably polish that frame up so it looks just like this. It's just going to have the weight of the steel frame. So that's what we're looking at. To finish this off, all I did was load them up and then just kind of double tapped out with each one of them just to run that footage through. So let's bounce out to the range. You'll see these double taps on each one and just further helping with the decision making. But this is at regular speed. So let's jump out, check that out, then we'll come back in and wrap up. Somebody busting. Let's double tap. All right. So that's hitting nice. Just some double taps on these gate leaks. Yeah. We're gonna run double taps for each one, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So We'll go top in the center up. We're gonna go up here. That light is Get that one up. All right. So we're gonna bring it on around. We're gonna double tap that match X. We'll just go bottom, center, right there. And it. And we'll finish off with that Romulus. And this is not necessarily for accuracy, so we're just gonna run this right down the middle. All right, so we're going to use that footage and we're going to create some slow-mos. So we'll see how that works. All right, so there you have it. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. You saw the slow-mo. I think this is the first time I ran slow-mo on them. Everything else has been just regular speed. So let me know what your thoughts are. I think it's safe to say that the Romulus and the Synergy were on the bottom end of that. But having said that, the Romulus with no changes has been holding its own the whole time. So that's why I was reluctant to send it out. But it's time now because the Mac9, in my opinion, has really stepped up and kind of set itself apart just a little bit. So I think once the Romulus is back, and I'll probably do V10 porting on that and then open that comp up. So that's what we're going to be working with. And I might go ahead and drop another trigger in there since I'm doing that. So I'll probably order a trigger for that. And that'll be it for now. So we'll get that back. We'll get that bad boy back in one piece, and then we'll be back at it again. And I think it's more than likely that the Romulus is going to be at the top of the food chain as far as the for me goes here. But hit me up in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you think, where you think the Romulus is going to fall if it gets them V10 ports. Until next time, it's your boy BTG, aka Bust Them Guns. Check me out on other platforms at Bust Them Guns, Instagram, Facebook, as well as Rumble. I do have the new AR in-house, that 6mm arc. So I'm just waiting on a couple more items before I roll that bad boy out. Those should be coming in this week. So that'll probably be either midweek or weekend debut. But we're going to get that bad boy out. It's nice. So definitely stay tuned for that. Set your notifications if you don't have them set. Till next time, holla.